This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning on this long 4th of July weekend. It's Saturday, July 1st, and thank you again for joining us. We have a great show for you today. My good friend Don Volo will be joining us, Henry Weingarten in a few moments. Sinclair No will be here. We have Jeff Friedland here from INTIVA, and we have a special treat for you in segment 4, reference the 4th of July, so don't touch that dial. I'm not sure we established a trading pattern this week, this past week, down, up, down, up. We did see a return of volatility, that's for sure. The indexes saw big moves, much sound and fury amounting to very little. It might just be window dressing to finish out the quarter and heading into the long holiday weekend. The markets will be open for half a day on Monday. I don't know why they do that, but they did. No one's going to be around, but in reality, this is really the beginning of a long holiday weekend, and nothing's really going to happen until next Wednesday, July 5th. So as we wrap up the second quarter and the first half of the year, let's check where we stand for the month. The Dow gained 1.6%, the S&P gained 0.5%, the NASDAQ lost 0.9% for the month, and the Russell gained 3% for the second quarter. The Dow gained 3.3%, and the S&P up 2.6%. The NASDAQ was up nearly 4%, and the Russell up nearly 4%. So for the first half of the year, Dow's up 8%, the S&P is up 8.2%, and the NASDAQ up 14%. So for long-termers, it was a good return this year. Russell was up 6.1%, but the NASDAQ is the big winner so far this year. But here short-term, it seems to be topping out. As you recall, in the last week or so, Goldman Sachs reported that some of these high-tech and NASDAQ stocks could be overdone, and we saw a bit of pressure here, as you know, in the last week or so. So meanwhile, the S&P recorded its biggest percentage first-half gain since climbing 12.6% in the first 6 months of 2013, and the NASDAQ posted its biggest first-half gain since 2009. We have a lot to cover regarding bonds and oil and corporate results and the U.S. dollar and gold, so we'll see if we can get to that all during the course of the program. Meanwhile, we taped an interview yesterday with our good friend Don Volo, so let's go there. Welcome back our regular and very special guest, Don Volo, from the Canadian Society of Technical Analysts, where he was past president, but more importantly, he's the author, blogger of timingthemarket.ca and equityclock.com, two great websites. And also, he was an advisor to the Horizon Seasonal Rotation ETF Fund between 2009 and 2015. So thank you again, Don, for joining us on this Saturday morning, and today is Canada Day.
Yeah, today's Canada Day. That's celebrating Canada's 150th birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Lots of celebrations going on today right across Canada. Now, Canada has lots to celebrate this year. Currently has the fastest growing economy among the G7 developed nations. Now, year-over-year growth is at a 3.3% rate, much better than other economies. The Canadian dollar has responded very strongly by gaining 6% relative to the U.S. dollar since the beginning of May.
Wow. So Canadian investors have another reason to celebrate, too. The top 60 companies have shown some growth, I saw in your report.
Yeah, we're looking forward into the second quarter results. Yeah, very, very strong earnings gains by Canadian companies right across the board. Average increase by the top 60 companies in Canada is a year-over-year increase of 11.3% in the second quarter. Just to compare it, looking at the top 30 Dow companies in the U.S., growth is only at 3% in the second quarter, so much better growth up here in Canada.
Another reason for strength is the Canadian dollar. It's been bouncing back here a little bit, but still off its highs. What do you see coming there?
Well, it's kind of interesting because the Canadian dollar has been very, very strong, as we just mentioned. But it's not just because of what's happening up here in Canada. It also has a lot to do with the U.S. dollar index. Now, since early May, the U.S. dollar index has dropped 3.5%. That's a huge drop. Now, weakness is having a positive impact on commodity prices and commodity stock prices. Now, last week we saw nice breakouts recorded by both copper and zinc prices. The base metal exchange traded note, symbol is DBB, has gained 6.3% during the past 3 weeks. We mentioned this very briefly in our call last week. It's still happening. That sector is very, very strong. Base metal stocks on both sides of the border have responded accordingly.
So we're having a bit of an economic recovery here. We always look for the base metal stocks, including copper, as a sign of a rebirth of the economic strength. So that's where we're at, huh?
Yes, there's lots of base metals you can play. In the case of the U.S., Freeport-McMoRan is one of them. Up here in Canada, it's Hudbay Mining, Lundin Mining, Teck Resources. These are all stocks which are involved in that sector. It should do very well. Related to it is steel stocks, and we've seen that sector also benefit quite significantly from weakness in the U.S. dollar index. The steel stocks in the U.S. are very, very strong, and we had some comments late this week from President Trump saying that they could have additional action on export or imported steel coming into the U.S.
Wow. So things are improving. That's great for both sides of the border. Thank you, Don. Talking to Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. Don will be taking a break next week, but we'll have him back real soon. And thank you for joining us here on Wall Street Raw.
Thank you, Mark.
And we have Henry Weingarten in the wings waiting for us live this Saturday morning and very patiently. Hi, Henry. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. So we have a couple minutes. How do you see the markets
Absolutely.
here? Have we topped out or no?
Sure. I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear that.
You think we've topped out?
Chance. I mean, we knew that last week was going to be down the 25th and the 29th, but we really don't know in July. We know we have the S&P down in August. We have the NASDAQ down again in September, but we don't know if this is going to be a follow-through. So we knew last week. The rest of the month, going into July, as far as I'm concerned, we're flying blind. That is to say, the astrology is not strong one way or another. We could have topped, but, the economy is getting better. I mean, the big bottom line is whether or not the economy is getting better, and clearly, in my view, it is. So we may have topped here, we may not have, but we recommend hedging, writing calls and, that sort of thing. We're not worrying about it. But if you're concerned, get good profits, nothing wrong with taking them.
Okay, but we're still looking for higher prices going forward after even a little bit of a correction.
We would say even if there's a correction through September, we think we'll see it higher in December 31st, so it's not like we're concerned. Oil, for example, hit the bottom numbers in the 42 to 44. We're at 46 now. When we get to fourth quarter, it will be strong. It will be back in the mid-50s. So those areas do well. Gold's a little tricky. That 1240, 1250 area is important. If we break down the 1240, we could get down to 1220, or we can see 1250. But again, when we get to the fall, we'll be higher. So it really depends on how you like to, if you want to trade. Remember, summer is thin, so they're going to be stronger movements than what we've seen. Volatility is also growing, and in August, we'll be higher again.
Henry, thank you for joining us. Short segment. I apologize. Henry Weingarten. If you wanted more information, go to afund.com. Speak to you next week.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon, or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. fullycookedbacon.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
We use cell phones against our heads every day. But now, a landmark U.S. government study confirms increased health risks from exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The time to protect yourself is now. The solution is Defender Shield. Proudly made in the USA, Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation emitted from cell phones, tablets, and laptops. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. Use discount code DEFENDER for 10% off. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in EMF radiation protection.
Extendivite really works. Just listen to what some people have to say.
About 6 months ago, my wife bought Extendivite. She didn't tell me she was giving it to me. So after about 3 days, I said, maybe the weather's changed or something. I said, my legs feel really good. And she goes, well, I've been giving you this stuff, and it was the Extendivite. And you know that I'm about 75% better. I can actually climb stairs now, and I can get up out of chairs. I can even get down and, I have to work under a table or a computer table and work on a computer. I can actually get back up off the floor. You know what? It's an amazing product. I didn't think anything short of having surgery was going to help.
Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid. Call now. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Be prepared for the next disaster with the Shelter Pod. The Shelter Pod is a large, all-season, heavy-duty, quick-deploy shelter. The Shelter Pod system can be set up in 30 seconds and includes an emergency medical kit, water filter, survival tools, and more. Are you prepared to take care of your family? Do you have everything in one place ready to go? Get it now or enter to win a complete Shelter Pod system at ShelterPod.com. The Shelter Pod at ShelterPod.com. Shelter when you need it most.
Think big. Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back, our regular and very special guest, Sinclair No from the KFN 1510 studios and author of the blog EatTheBankers.com. Sinclair, thank you again for joining us on this long 4th of July weekend.
Always a pleasure, Mark. Thank you.
Well, news goes on. We keep working. We try to provide all our listeners with what's happening. We've had a lot of volatility in the market this past week, currently experiencing a little bit of a 4th of July pop, even though it's been up and down all week. And now we're just looking into the potential summer doldrums, or is it going to be a surprise to the bears? That's what we're all going to find out. Meanwhile, everybody's focusing still on the Federal Reserve. We had Janet Yellen talking in London this past week, Sinclair, and she made a statement that she thought asset valuations are somewhat rich. And my recollection is when Fed chairmen talk about stocks being too high, they tend to go higher.
That's normally the case. You're right, though. We did see something a little bit unusual this week in the market, and that is a return of volatility. The market started to move 100-point swings this week, up, down, trying any particular pattern, whether it is up or down. I'm not quite sure yet, in part because this was the end of quarter and end of the first half. So there may have just been some window dressing going on. But earlier in the week, no question, we had a lot of Fed speak. And, of course, leading the pack was Fed Chair Janet Yellen talking in London. And she repeated the idea that the Fed is planning to hike interest rates and do it very gradually. Fed Vice Chair Stanley Fischer told an IMF event, International Monetary Fund event, the price-to-earnings ratios are now in the top quintiles of historic distributions. In other words, stocks are a bit expensive at these levels compared to what they're earning. Fisher said that rising valuations in equities and in other parts of the global market are partly explained because we have a better economic outlook, but also that people are just taking on more risk. I thought the most simple explanation came from San Francisco Fed President John Williams. He said, stock market's running on fumes. And that may be true. I mean, this is a very long bull market. It has been going on for years. Valuations are high. We certainly have seen that in a lot of the leaders, which are the tech stocks, and more specifically the FANG stocks, the big mega tech stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Alphabet, Netflix. Those stocks started getting to really high valuations, and they are so big that they influence the major indexes, the S&P, the Dow, and so forth. So we see all that, and you start to wonder, well, just how long can this market go on in this bull mode where it just climbs higher and higher, even though there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of great economic news. I mean, the IMF, where Fisher was speaking this past week, they're not particularly optimistic about the U.S. economy. They're looking at 2.1% growth this year, and then they see growth slowing from there. Meanwhile, another thing took place this week, and that was the banks passed their stress test with the Federal Reserve. And Yellen and Fisher were both touting the capital buildup at the nation's biggest bank as if we've passed through the financial crisis. All is good, all is well. Fisher pointed out that regulatory capital at large banks is now at multi-decade highs. Yellen went even further and said another crisis, like the one that caused the Great Recession, isn't likely in our lifetimes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that should make you scared. Chair Yellen will be absolutely and totally correct as long as we all die by next Wednesday. Of course, the Fed has not been particularly good at forecasting things like the Great Recession. We were hearing denials from Yellen and Bernanke and others heading into the great meltdown of 2008, saying, oh, there's no problem, nothing to worry about here, move along, move along. So whenever you hear the Fed say, oh, another Great Recession not likely in our lifetimes, I think we should be nervous, very, very nervous.
Sinclair, the Bank of International Settlements this week was a central bank for the central bankers of the world, as you know, came out with their annual report, and they basically said the global economy faces 4 big risks. Financial cycle risks and financial instability, risk to consumption, risk to investment from weak productivity, and risk from rising protectionism. Just too many bears out there. That's the other side of the coin, too. Maybe we are climbing a wall of worry.
Yeah, maybe we are. Or you look back to the 2008 financial crisis, and we were getting warning signs back then. And if you were smart, you were hearing some of those warning bells go off back then. We're getting a few red flags or warning bells now. And, yeah, you can look the other way and not pay attention to some of these problems that are building out there. But you also need to be a little bit aware of what might happen. You should be aware of the risk. And I think that they bring up a fairly reasonable point about some of these risks, and they're interconnected risks. There is risk from inflation showing up again, and it could be triggered by any number of different things. A financial bust in the more vulnerable countries, trade protectionism could spark some financial strains. That could lead to higher inflation. That could all lead to financial stability. If you think the banks are these beacons of stability now, yeah, right. It doesn't take much for them to turn sour real fast. It's not like they're holding on to all this extra capital that they've got now. First thing they did when they passed the stress test, they started handing it out in terms of increased dividends and more stock buybacks. That doesn't provide much of a financial cushion moving forward.
Correct. Instead of lending the money, they buy back their own shares. Sinclair, we ran out of time. Love having you on the show. Have a great 4th of July weekend. We're talking to Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 and author of the blog EatTheBankers.com, and we'll speak to you next week.
Happy 4th, Mark.
Thank you again, Sinclair, for joining us. And don't touch your dial. We have Jeff Friedland coming up here after the break from INTIVA and OWC Pharmaceutical, and a special treat for you on segment 4. Stay tuned.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
My friend, for years, Swiss America and I have been warning about the unsafe world of modern banking, in which merely holding cash might be a crime. Today, if you decide to withdraw cash, be prepared to explain why or fill out forms. So why are honest citizens suddenly being treated like criminals? That's the subject of 2 complimentary Swiss America special reports, The Secret War on Cash and The 10 Consequences of a Cashless World. Why don't you call Swiss America now for these free reports? 800-289-2646. Again, 800-289-2646. Does a cashless world concern you? It ought to. New government capital controls are targeting citizen savings and retirement funds. Take it from Pat Boone. These reports will explain what you can do about it. Call 800-289-2646, 800-289-2646.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free Reputation reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-945-1063. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-945-1063. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-945-1063. That's 1-800-945-1063.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's MyPillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
A good friend and former guest on Wall Street Raw, Jeffrey Friedland, who's the managing director of Friedland Capital. He's a member of the advisory board of OWC Pharmaceutical Research, which we want to talk about this morning, and INTIVA. He's a CEO of that company, and INTIVA made an early-stage investment in OWCP during the summer of 2014. Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for joining us on this long 4th of July weekend.
I'm delighted to be here today.
Big announcement this week. OWC announces its market readiness of its cannabinoid-based topical cream for skin conditions, starting with psoriasis. That's a big story, looking for a product like that coming out of Israel, too.
Right. It's really fascinating. The news announcement that came out on Monday, and I'm an advisor to the company, as you indicated, indicates that a full patent application was filed with the U.S. Patent Office to replace a provisional patent on this psoriasis cream. And the psoriasis cream, there's a lot of people that have topical products out there with CBD or other cannabinoids and terpenes. But what you have to understand about OWC psoriasis cream is the fact that it has undergone a lot of trials in Israel. And we all know that Israel is sort of probably about 95% of pharmaceutical cannabis research in the world, a role it'll probably continue for, as I've said in Tel Aviv, for at least 10 years.
So OWC is working on other products besides this, I assume, correct? This is one of many in the pipeline.
Right. The one I'm really fascinated with, which they've also, publicly announced a couple of years ago, and then it was sort of start and stop, and is, doing some preclinical work for multiple myeloma. And you can find this online at Edgar at the FCC or with news releases of theirs, but nothing right now conventionally kills multiple myeloma cancer cells. And the preliminary results that they did with mice, and 60% of the mice, I may be slightly off on this, but 60% of the mice, 100% of the multiple myeloma cells were killed. So obviously that's, far away from human trials, but just the fact that those kind of results, were obtained is a big deal. But I think what people have to understand about what OWC is that it's a pharmaceutical development company. And they have to also understand that it's about Israel, it's about sciences, and it's about the cannabis space in Israel. And I think that's key. And OWC and its management team over there are incredibly plugged into what's happening in Israel, which is leading edge on pharma development worldwide.
Jeff has had background in this industry going well before his involvement with INTIVA and OWC Pharmaceutical. He was an owner of cannabis stores in Colorado and he was also involved in a cultivation facility. He's also been a keynote speaker at the recent San Jose IMN institutional cannabis event, and he's really an expert in the field, and we really enjoy having him on the program. Just so much going on here. Going forward, Jeff, we only have about 60 seconds looking forward into the cannabis space, legalization, non-legalization, but the medical marijuana is really what it's all about.
Yeah, just a couple quick points. Obviously, my book, Marijuana, the World's Most Misunderstood Plant, is available at Amazon and print and Kindle. I do a lot of speaking, and I've got a lot of videos out there, too, at my personal website, which is jeffreyfriedland.com. jeffreyfriedland.com. But I love the space. I love the canna entrepreneurs in this space, or cannapreneurs. I love the action on this, and I'm delighted to be involved in this industry in the United States, Canada, and Israel, because it's an incredible emerging market.
And I'm terribly excited, too, because it's a great opportunity for investors, and the medical marijuana space helps a lot of people. Jeff, it's really a pleasure having you. We're going to have you back real soon. Have a great 4th of July weekend. We've been talking to Jeffrey Friedland from INTIVA, who's the CEO of INTIVA, and also he's on the advisory board of OWC Pharmaceutical Research, ticker symbol OWCP. Thank you, Jeff, and we'll talk to you soon. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. And, as many of you know, I do publish the Cannabis Vice newsletter, and we own many of the stocks in that list, including OWCP, which was mentioned in this interview. So this is not a paid interview. This is just my love for the space. This is something that I've been involved with since 2014. If any of you know the story, I guess I could repeat it for you. Back in 2014, the beginning of the year, I was a keynote speaker up at the World Outlook Conference in Vancouver, and I was asked what I thought another exciting or emergent industry or opportunity might be out there, and I said it would be cannabis stocks and marijuana, and I was a keynote speaker in front of 1,200 people, and I think they were laughing for about 10 minutes before it quieted down. Meanwhile, now they invite me back every year that I'm the guru in cannabis and marijuana, and it's only because I saw the action going into that space, the investors going in at this San Jose conference I was just at this past March. I mean, it was just unbelievable in terms of the amount of investment interest, and you can see what's going on with valuations. In fact, they're having another conference in Miami Beach in early September, and I hope to attend that as well. For those of you who are in Las Vegas, it should be a very interesting 4th of July celebration. As you probably know, recreational marijuana, which is not what we're talking about here because these other companies are medical marijuana, but it becomes legal to buy today, Saturday in Nevada. That doesn't mean it can be smoked everywhere, but only in private rooms, yards, or porches. It's prohibited in casinos, bars, restaurants, parks, concerts, and any other federal property. So you can't walk down the street or the strip smoking a joint. Also prohibited in all forms at airports, and you can't drive while stoned. But and that's what smoked. I guess what smoked in Vegas stays in Vegas this past weekend. But again, having Jeff Friedland on the show and other guests, we had Dan Nichols from MGIC, the MGI Index, and others over time here. We're going to continue to do that. We see great opportunity, in that sector. We do trade many of these stocks, as you probably know, at the on the newsletter. This past week, looking at the market, just briefly, saw a couple of important, notable anniversaries. 20 years ago, I don't know if you recall, the British handed over rule of Hong Kong to the Chinese. 10 years ago, the first iPhone was sold. Apple sold more than 50 million phones in the first 3 months of 2017 alone, bringing it to 33.2 billion. So we did have an interesting history this past week. The show is a little bit retro, and I go back and we look. If you listen to the music and the quotes that we have here during the various segments, this is the style of the show. Everything from Back to the Future to the Ten Commandments. So we're going to do a little bit more than that for you here in segment 4. So I don't want you to touch your dial. I think you're going to be happy with a nice 4th of July send-off here on Wall Street Raw on this Saturday. Don't touch your dial. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for joining us on this long 4th of July weekend.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-557-0158. That's 800-557-0158. Again, 800-557-0158.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome on this 4th of July weekend, on this Saturday, July 1st. In keeping with the theme of my show, which is a financial time machine, both in terms of music and in many cases content, we have a special treat for you on this segment. We're going to be listening to Kate Smith sing God Bless America, and this comes from the movie entitled This Is the Army from 1943. If you go to my website, vrtrader.com, that's vrtrader.com, you'll see it right up on the home page, and you can watch the clip, and you're going to hear the audio. The Titanic delivery of Irving Berlin's God Bless America in this piece, recreating her 1938 introduction of the song on a radio show with this patriotic montage. And believe it or not, you're going to see Ronald Reagan in there if you watch the video. And it convinces me that the hand of God was involved in his career, or the fact that you see him in this 1938 montage as part of this 1943 film. So it's 1943, I guess. He's actually in that scene. So when I saw this, I just couldn't help but put it up on the website. So we know that Kate Smith was our national treasure for many, many years. No matter what befell this country, Kate shone through in song, and during the darkest days of war and anything that troubled this nation, she was with us. She lived and died a legend in her own time. Let's hear Kate Smith.
Hello, everybody. It is my happy privilege to introduce a new song, God Bless America. While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so Nope. White with God bless America. My home.
Right, Pop?
Right, son.
Kind of makes you think of Blake, doesn't it? Makes you think of a lot of things. We're going to be in this yet, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hello, darling.
New song?
Brand new, first time of the year.
Brand new, my eye.
You know, I threw that song out of Yip Yip Yap Tank 22 years ago. Sounds better now.
I hope you enjoyed listening to that as much as I enjoyed presenting it. And again, this clip was from the film This Is the Army, 1943. And if you go to my website, vrtrader.com, you will see the video. And a lot of the voices you heard were scenes, obviously video scenes in the film, but in there you actually see toward the end, you heard his voice a second ago, Ronald Reagan in 1943 as a young man sitting in the room listening to Kate Smith's God Bless America. And as I said earlier, we know and I believe that the hand of God was involved in all this, because here he turned out to be president in such a dramatic presentation back there in 1943. Again, she was our national treasure. I wish all of you a happy and safe 4th of July weekend, and it was a real honor digging up this tape and presenting it to you here on this long 4th of July weekend. And I guess we still have to talk about the markets. It's a Wall Street Raw radio program, and we still have some risks here for those of you who are worried about a summer pullback. That certainly is one, but as we said earlier with my interview with Sinclair, no, we have been climbing a wall of worry, and the economy has been improving, but we also have rigged markets. Low interest rates, we have intervention on the part of the Fed, both here and, of course, in Europe and in Japan. And, there's a concerted effort also on a certain level to keep markets buoyed up there. So it's been a very diverse market here. We saw oil down a bit this year, but so far that hasn't affected the markets. And back in 2008 it did. It had a big sell-off, and ultimately we did see a big market sell-off. We saw the bond market showing some relative strength here in recent weeks, which is surprising. Some would say that perhaps that's a warning of a bit of a correction. And we still have gold out there, still very much in play, in my opinion. Still looking for a move up to last year's high and beyond here in the months ahead. So a lot of opportunity ahead, particularly in the cannabis stocks. And I also want to thank our sponsor, Swiss America, for joining on our program. And as a quick message, if you want more information from Swiss America, mention my name in the show. Call 800-289-2646. That's 800-289-2646 to get their books, The Secret War of Cash and Don't Bank on It, which are, very special products. We heard Pat Boone a few moments ago on that spot talking about it, but great company I've worked with over the years. So, again, 800-289-2646. And every week as we do close our show on this time machine for financial analysis, as we look back to Ed Hart in the 1980s and 1990s as he closed his show as we do, as he said, we will know in the fullness of time. Happy 4th of July.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Tyler, time to go for our family walk.
Just let me nap a little longer.
You promised we'd get more active.
I know. How come you're so ready to go?
It's Superberry's Aronia berries.
Aronia what?
Aronia berries from superberries.com. They're known for having one of the highest levels of antioxidants that helps with overall wellness.
Where'd you get them?
I ordered them from superberries.com/radio, and right now we can get a free smoothie recipe book with our order. Plus, we can save $4 at checkout.
I can't wait to try them. I'll get the dog.
I'll get the kids.
Choose health. Eat purple. Superberries.com. It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.